Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Jack, say hi.
Hi.
Jack, how you doing tonight?
I'm fine. I'm still getting over like this weird stomach issue I had for the past few days, but doing good otherwise.
I thought you were going to say you were doing good except for that image I just put in your head.
Well, that didn't help things.
Guys, I'm looking at a picture of Jerry Nadler. Did you see that Massive Dynamic worked up Nadler as Chet?
Yes, and that was haunting.
It was beautiful. Let me find it because that deserves to be shared. Dude, thank you so much. I asked if somebody would do that. And yeah, he made this. And look how well it fits.
I really don't see the difference. It took me a little while.
It fits almost perfectly. This would be the shit arms and his shit belt. I'm telling you guys, people, he's an Oompa Loompa. No, he is a shit monster. Just saying. That man is a shit monster. Anyhow, but yeah, I was looking at a picture of Nadler and like, man, he could be Stelter's dad.
Yeah, dude, that's frightening how accurate that is.
He's Stelter's just carrying on the family business with the candy van.
Yeah, multi-generational candy van. It's a horror movie in there somewhere.
Guys, tonight we are going to be talking about the Senate hearing, it's the House hearing, the House Judiciary. Yeah, because Schiff is intelligence, Nadler's judici. Oh, I'm looking at it right there. It says Judiciary Committee. Probably should have read that. Would have saved me some time.
Yeah.
But before we do, I got to talk about Chaz. Not Chaz. What do we call in Portland? Does it have a name? Shithole?
I call it the clap because it's like an infection because they called it the clat and I called it the clap.
Yeah, so. They did. CLAT is what they said. No. That last one's a P.
Yeah.
You're a disease and you're spreading. I tuned in there for just a moment, and there's a tent set up where they're selling T-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like capitalism still thrives in the anarchy.
Yeah, and in the communist utopia over there. But one, I'm getting tired of. I can't breathe. Stop it. Yes, you can. George couldn't, and I get it, but this isn't about George anymore. So stop it.
Well, this was never about George.
You know, the first couple of days I could give it to him in Minneapolis.
Yeah, in Minneapolis.
Everything else, like, I can't breathe. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Stop it. But they're selling I can't breathe shirts. I was thinking about selling an I can breathe shirt, but I feel like I'd get in trouble for that.
Yeah, probably.
But I noticed something. There were 4 people in the tent selling these shirts. 2 of them had masks on.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them had the mask above their lower lip. They were under their chin.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more comfortable that way. It's hard to maybe they're protecting their chin beards. I don't know.
And man, they're standing we're well within 6 feet of each other.
Oh yeah.
That table's they're not 6 feet apart from their customer when they're talking to them. But it's okay, guys. You cannot get COVID from a protest. That's science.
Yeah, that's what the kids tell me.
Mm-hmm. God, I couldn't even get away from Portland watching this stupid hearing because, I mean, it came up repeatedly.
Yeah. And how many times did they mention John Lewis?
Oh, dear God. Yeah, they were dangling him out there like there was no tomorrow. They haven't talked about John Lewis as a civil rights leader in years. Every so often somebody will mention it. But now that he's dead, it's all they'll talk about. He did more than that. Don't get me wrong. He was a pivotal member of the civil rights movement. Absolutely. Can't take that away from him. But y'all motherfuckers ain't said shit in 20 years. Stop it. Now you're just dancing on his grave. Anyhow, good Lord, my foot effing hurts. What'd you do to it? Sam, be careful with yourself.
Yeah, stop hurting yourself. It's not okay.
Gotcha. I don't have any timestamps pulled up for this. What I thought we could do is just we'll jump forward here and there and find people that we want to, because I really want to see Jayapal, or however you say her name.
Yeah.
Did you get to see her questioning, Jack?
I don't remember. I don't remember most of their names. I just think annoying bitch, annoying dude.
She's the one. She looks kind of Asian. I don't know if she's Asian or half black or quarter Mexican. I don't know what she is. But she's very noticeable because when she turns sideways, her chin will knock over table lamps.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw all of that because I was kind of in and out. I was listening to it more than watching it.
Her testimony, or it should be said testimony, because she didn't really question Barr all that much. She was just, neither the Democrats didn't do that at all, really. Even when they did ask questions, they wouldn't give the man a chance to answer.
No, I reclaimed my time.
I reclaimed my time. That's what I should have named the stream. I reclaimed my time. But hers was especially annoying. You know what? Let me find this bitch. Let me find her. Where was Japali? Let's see. Oh, there she is. She comes in. Okay. Sorry, guys. I should do this on the screen so you guys can see it. Watch me jumping around.
Zan said he had pins put in to stabilize a broken bone this morning.
Damn.
Dude. Ow.
I hope you feel better.
I am not blinded by yellow fever.
Yeah, no shit. Don't forget, guys, we're brought to you by you. If you enjoy us fucking with people on video, this is going to be one you want to watch.
Not a bully stream.
Hit us up at our Streamlabs links. They're down below, and give us money, because we don't make the kind of money that they make in Congress to be shitheads and lie constantly.
Look at that pause game.
Already started, man. Does this count as having her mask proper? I feel like it doesn't.
The chick on the left?
Yeah, this one right here.
Probably not quite, but I don't think that's quite correct. Can't tell that bottle's in the way, but it looks like it's like right on the tip of her nose.
Yeah, that's how it is. Let's see. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right at the tip of her nose.
It's probably technically correct, but I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing a mask like that if I was, sitting in a room full of people and I thought there was a pandemic going on.
I wouldn't be comfortable with her being in that room.
Well,
because if she sneezes, that shit's all going out the front.
Yeah, it depends how she looks from the neck down.
Fair enough. Or under the mask.
Yeah. Well, she's got the mask on. It's just kinky.
If under the mask she looks like Nadler, I don't want any part of it. I just ruined that, didn't I?
A little bit.
Poor fit. No, that is, I don't want it up so high. It probably annoys her. She's got a weird face that it looks like it would probably be pushing right into her eyes. Anyhow, we're not here for that. We're not here to judge.
Well, we're not judging. We're just pointing out.
This is still better than we see a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I know Jayapal, I forget how you say her last name, but
who knows?
She got pissy with somebody because they were pronouncing it wrong.
She'll get over it.
Somebody earlier, one of the Republicans was using her name, and she corrected him. If you're going to use my name, at least say it right. Well, give me your last name.
Congresswoman bitch face. How's that?
Yeah. Go fuck yourself. How about that, you cunt? By the way, YouTube, the opening of this show is long past. I can say both fuck and cunt. That's your rules, not mine. I don't know why the opening I can't say it,
Somebody needs to legally change their name to Fucky McCuntface so we can just say we're referring to them.
That would be a lot more helpful.
I agree. I'm going to name my next animal that.
Here we go.
Talking about government limits on those activities.
He's finishing up some questioning here.
What's more important? Government putting limits on
shut up.
Protesting or
Jordan did a good job actually today.
Against the murder of George Floyd and
damn it, I missed her. Because Jim, shut the fuck up.
Attending church.
You know, we'll let him talk for a second.
Are they both First Amendment?
Exactly.
Right.
He's being asked, which is more important, going to church or being able to protest. He was trying to make the point because somebody had just asked Barr about why they're arguing about whether people should be allowed to go to church or not. Why do you want this pandemic to go? And he's pointing out that the First Amendment, the free speech clause, the assembly clause, is no more important than the religion clause, because it's not. They're even in the same fucking amendment.
Yeah. If you're going to let people assemble for protests, you have to let them go to church.
Okay. Were you able to hear that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Here goes Cunty McCuntface.
Mr. Barr, on June 1st, there were protests against the murder of George Floyd and police brutality in Lafayette Park. Let us not be distracted by you or my GOP colleagues as to what these powerful and massive protests were actually about.
Stop. Jack, we just talked about this. The killing of George Floyd has nothing to do with this. Even that guy that got killed in Atlanta has nothing to do with this. I forget his name. Has nothing to do with this. So stop. But look at that chin, man. Look at that fucking chin.
Yeah, she is an unattractive woman. I'm betting she's Indian with a name like Pramila.
Oh, yeah, okay. I try not to judge based on names because I can't say any of them. American, Chinese, Portuguese, none of them. Sorry, guys. Yeah. I suck with names.
Well, she's probably an American, but her family's from India.
Sure. She's that's where they originated from.
Yeah.
That's where the seed came from.
Yeah.
All right. So she's telling us that it's all about, don't lose sight.
They were about the persistent killing of Black bodies by law enforcement. And finally, an awakening in America of the conscience of our country.
Stop. The riots you are seeing right now have nothing to do with any of that shit. The only awakening there is the commies coming to roost.
Yep.
The ones we've been growing in all of our fucking colleges for the last decade.
Yeah. Probably longer than that. I would say 2.5 decades. Look, first of all, I don't know why she isn't chasing after Bugs Bunny to dip him in her cauldron, but I laughed at my own joke there. Sorry.
Sometimes you have to.
But she's trying to make this into some righteous thing when really they think, and I said this on Twitter earlier, so I'm going to be that guy. They seem to think that they can control Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They think they could control and aim these commies and make them do what they want. Maybe for a little while they can, but it never works that way. You can't control these outside movements, especially ones with zealots like what we're seeing. It's going to blow up in their face if they keep doing this. I'm telling you, there's already people that are dead. They don't seem to care. And eventually it's going to get out of their hands, and they're not going to understand what happened. Because that's how it always works with people like this. And pushing this narrative that these are just peaceful people that didn't do nothing, it's visibly, easily disproved. There's video all over the place.
Sure. Guys, please donate to the Monkey is Feeling Inferior About His Chin fund over on my Streamlabs, because that chin is impressive. Dear fuck. If you watch her boobs, it makes really weird shadows on it.
I do not want to see either of those things.
I can't help it, man. I'm drawn to boobs.
Sorry.
Jack, do you have a fun tonight?
Hot Asians.
There you go. My fund will change throughout the night, I'm sure, because holy shit, the stupid that we go through here. But to your point, Jack, one of the Republicans, and I forget which one, I wish I knew who it was so I could bring it up easily, but he talked about that very thing. He's like, you guys think you can control this, but it's already turning against you in many places, including Mayor Jenny, Ted Wheeler. They don't like you.
And they don't understand why. Because you can see it with every one of Ted Wheeler's tweets. He keeps trying to support these people, and it's not gaining him any favors. They just see him as a weasel, which he is. But
sure,
it's disturbing how much they think they have control over these people. And we've seen these things spreading from other into other cities now.
Zan says, Monkey, you said you weren't a boob man. I'm not a boob man, but I can't help but look. It's not that, I mean, I like boobs, don't get me wrong, but my eyes are just drawn to titties. So when women said my face is up here, I'm like, I know, but your boobs are right there, and that's what I'm looking at. Shrouded Angel, thank you. Monkey is feeling inferior about his chin fund. Thank you so very much. I got this normal chin, Jack. That's not fair. She got extra. I want extra. Suppression. We need chin equity.
It's ableist for sure. I mean,
hashtag chin equity.
Do you think she puts like nacho dip on her chin so it's easier to dip the chips in?
I wonder how many things she's actually balanced on that thing. On the plus side, she probably never drops food onto her shirt. It just lands right there and she can just pick it up and.
Ew.
I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to dumb bitch.
And yet your response, Mr. Barr, was to direct federal officers to close in on the protesters and to use shields offensively as weapons, tear gas, pepper balls, irritants, explosive devices, batons, and horses to.
Yep, and good for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure I see her point.
These were righteous causes, and you were blowing people up. This is how they're framing it, guys. This is what I've been talking about with they are winning the propaganda war. And they had nothing but great propaganda from the Democrats this whole fucking hearing. Every Democrat who talked about them talked about what a peaceful protest it was. One of these little shitbags actually had the balls to show video.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Actually, two of them did it. One of them showed video of her homeland in Ecuador, plus mixed in with footage from here. And another guy, he just showed them chanting when they were all standing around in daylight. Yeah, he didn't show any of the other stuff. Thank you, Vomit Sausage, who says, hashtag chin equity. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to buy myself a fake chin, Jack. Chino State. All right. Let's get, God, she's so fucking stupid. Swear to God. When I listened to it, I was playing a video game and listening to this live. I actually stopped because I had just been listening. And I'm turning over here, staring at this woman going, you can't be that fucking stupid.
To clear the area just so the president could get a photo op. So I do want to ask you, do you think that do you think the response at Lafayette Square to tear gas, pepper spray, and beat protesters and injure American citizens who were just simply exercising their First Amendment rights was appropriate?
Well, first, it's my understanding that no.
We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you so much, Midnight, who says, it started in the 40s. Kurt Levin, the Frankfurt School Marxist. Is this from today? Yeah, okay. Who invented diversity training. See, it breaks up the goddamn word and makes me sound like an idiot because this one says dive. That is not my fault. The Frankfurt School Marxist who invented diversity training started at MIT, had connections to Stanford and others 60 years. It all traces back to him and the NTL. Thank you so much for the donation. Ranting Monkey, Civil War II is on the horizon. Wouldn't you agree? No. I'm still not ready to go all in on Civil War II. All right, so she's mad about Lafayette Square, where they cleared it so the president could walk across the street. Doesn't it bother you that they had to clear it so the president could walk across the fucking street?
No, see, these are righteous people, and Orange Man is bad. See, it's a dichotomy with them: good guys versus bad guys. It's not. These are people doing something criminal or doing something wrong, and these people are doing something that may also be wrong. No, there's no variation. These are our people, tribal. The tribe is good. They are with us. They never have done anything wrong because they are with us.
Keeperdam says she looks sad. Someone should tell her chin up.
Oh, ow.
You think that hurts her neck? Anyway.
She got a pretty big head. I think she's fine.
I bet she would be a great lesbian, man.
Maybe, yeah.
She could be licking and put that in the hole. I'm just saying. Anyhow, Barr's response to Lafayette Square.
No tear gas was used on Monday, June 1st.
Mr. Barr, that is a semantic distinction that has been proven false by many fact checkers.
How is it semantic?
Do you think?
How is it semantic? Tear gas is a particular compound.
You talked about chemical irritants, and it has been proven false by reports. So just answer the question. Do you think that it was appropriate at Lafayette Park to pepper spray, tear gas, and beat protesters and injure American citizens?
Well, I don't accept your characterization of what happened, but as I explained, the effort there was...
Mr. Barr, I just asked for...
See, this is what happens to Barr. Anytime somebody does ask him a question, he goes to answer it. Mr. Barr, I need you to answer how I want you to. I need you to answer how I want you to.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical that never happened, and I need you to assume that that's exactly what happened so that everybody thinks that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Barr's explained one. Tear gas has always been a very specific thing. And anything that can make your eyes water, that's a tear gas.
No.
And that's semantics, sir. No. You fucking lunatic bit the Crimson Chin. Stop it. I used to love that show. I used to watch it with the kids. All right. Here she goes interrupting him because she's a horrible person.
Yes or no? So let me just tell you, I'm starting to lose my temper. According to...
It's a member of Congress talking to a witness telling him they're about to lose their temper.
Yeah, that sounds like a threat of some kind.
She's talking to the fucking AG. Now, I will say that I like Barr because he does a very good job in the few times he has come before Congress. The left just comes at him with everything, and he's pretty calm and just like, man, fuck you.
Calm. That dude has the patience of a saint.
Yes, he does. He did get pissy with somebody who we'll get to that guy if I can remember to find him. Asks him to answer a question under penalty of perjury, and he goes to answer it, and the guy cuts him off. And he goes, "No, I am answering this fucking question. You just said under penalty of perjury. I'm going to answer." So we'll get to that in a minute. But anyhow.
The sworn testimony before the House Natural Resources Committee by Army National Guard officer Adam DeMarco, who was there. This was, quote, an unprovoked escalation and excessive use of force against.
This is one of my favorite answers he gives all day. I'm just interrupting to tell you that.
Peaceful protesters.
Well, I don't remember DeMarco as being
Mr. Barr, excuse me, this is my time, sir.
I love that. I don't remember him being in the decision making. Which, by the way, true. But did you hear what she just said there? This is my time. You will do what I tell you to, bitch.
Sir. The president told governors on a telephone call that the way to deal with the protesters of police brutality and systemic racism, like in Lafayette Square, is that, quote, you have to get much tougher. You have to dominate. If you don't dominate, you're wasting your time. These are terrorists. And
Jack, you see anything wrong with what he said there?
He didn't say anything wrong.
He's right. He's right. And if you notice, you see the ellipses there, guys? That's where they're cutting out shit that he actually said that puts this even in more context. You notice how when he's talking about people who are fighting systemic racism, no, he's talking about the fucking rioters, you silly bitch.
Oh, that's one of those hate facts that's inconvenient to our narrative. We're going to need you to stop doing that.
He also talked about you on that call, sir. Here's what he said. He said, the Attorney General is here, Bill Barr, and we will activate Bill Barr and activate him strongly.
I like the sound of that. Makes it sound like RoboCop.
Right? Activate robots 1 through 7.
Remember that call, Mr. Barr?
Yes, I do.
Whoops.
This
Excellent.
isn't the Clone Wars.
I know, but she's mad about it, man.
Ooh, so I don't like a word he used, man.
But he wasn't talking about protesters. He was talking
Mr.
about
Barr,
rioters.
apparently the president believes that you can be activated to implement the president's agenda and dominate American people exercising First Amendment rights if they're protesting against him. But let's look at how you respond when the protesters are supporters of.
This is where I lost it, Jack. Because she keeps saying protesters, protesters, protesters. And as he just pointed out, what we always point out, they're fucking rioters.
Yeah, he drew a very clear distinction. He said these aren't protesters, these are rioters.
I have to take a deep breath. I'm about to listen to real stupid again.
The president on 2 separate occasions after President Trump tweeted, liberate Michigan, to subvert stay-home orders to protect the public health of people in Michigan. Protesters swarmed the Michigan Capitol carrying guns, some with swastikas, Confederate flags, and one even with a dark.
Time out. I missed the pause there. Hang on, I got to get that. There we are. All right. She's got one right here. There was one asshole who had this. It's the only one that's been seen. This is not somebody supporting Nazism. Thank you, Vomit Sausage. Hey, Chin raises the bar for other people. This is something that went. Thank you so much for that donation. This is something that went around at the time. Like, oh, they had swastikas there. This is not somebody that's supporting Hitler. This is them comparing Whitmer to Hitler in a bad way. They're not saying she's just like Hitler and I'd love her for it. That is such a dirty, disingenuous, bullshit thing to say. Oh. And I'm still not done with my rant on this fucking shit, but we're going to let dumbass talk again.
One even with a dark-haired doll with a noose around its neck.
Yeah,
Are you
probably
aware that
inappropriate.
these protesters called for the governor to be lynched, shot, and beheaded?
No.
You're not.
Where's the video of that? Anyhow.
Doesn't exist.
Not aware of that.
I was not aware of it.
Major protests in Michigan. You're the attorney general, and you didn't know that the protesters called.
You know why he might not know that?
Because it didn't happen.
For the governor to be lynched, shot, and beheaded. So obviously you couldn't be concerned about that.
Well, there are a lot of protests around the United States, and on June
Attorney
1st,
General
I
Barr,
was worried about the
you seem to be
District of
engaging
Columbia,
in
which is
protests
federal.
in certain parts of the country. You're very aware of those, but when protesters with guns and swastikas and
I am
Confederate
aware of
flags, excuse me,
protesters in
Mr.
the
Barr, this
federal
is my
government.
time, and I.
This cunt is on my last nerve again, Jack.
Yeah, because she doesn't give him time to answer. Says, "Are you aware of that?" Then she just goes right into it. And he drew the distinction. He works for the federal level, not the state level. The state level is the state's responsibility. Unless something crazy happens, the feds don't typically get involved. They can in specific circumstances, but not every local issue is something he needs to be aware of. That's not his job.
control it. You are aware of certain kinds of protesters, but in Michigan, when protesters carry guns and Confederate flags and swastikas and call for the governor of Michigan to be beheaded and shot and lynched, somehow you're not aware of that. Somehow you didn't know about it, so you didn't send federal agents in to do to the...
Oh! Jack, why did Trump send federal agents into Portland?
Because they were attacking a federal courthouse.
The president's supporters, what you did to the president's protesters. In fact, you didn't put pepper balls on those protesters. So the point I'm trying to make here, Mr. Barr, that I think is very important for the country to understand, is that there is...
You didn't teabag him with your pepper balls.
Right? That's what I was just thinking.
Okay, I want to let her finish her point here, guys. Hang on.
There's a real discrepancy in how you react as the attorney general, the top cop in this country, when white men with swastikas storm a government...
That was a woman.
Building with guns. There is no need for the president to, quote, activate you because they're getting the president's personal agenda done. But when black people and people of color protest police brutality, systemic racism, and the president's very own lack of response to those critical issues, then you forcibly remove them with armed federal officers, pepper bombs, because they are considered terrorists by the president. You take an aggressive approach to Black Lives Matter protests, but not to right-wing extremists threatening to lynch a governor if it's for the president's benefit.
Jack, how much damage was done in Michigan in that protest?
None.
None.
No, I don't recall any of those guys that were armed, by the way, throwing Molotovs or fireworks or pointing laser pointers at the cops or feds or anybody that was there. They just kind of stood around and were like, hey, can you open the state? That'd be super... It was a very peaceful thing. Sorry.
Expo Hotep, thank you. Is this a hearing or a speech? Yes. There's your answer.
Yeah. They like to hear themselves speaking.
The protests in Michigan, by all accounts, including the law enforcement officers that were there, the people were peaceful. Yep. They have one photo of a guy yelling, and they keep talking about how he yelled at the police. And if you look at that photo, he came out and told the story. If you look at that photo, it lines up with what he says. He's not yelling at any of those police. He's yelling between them to a legislator he saw down the hall who had done something horrible that he didn't like.
Yeah, they were a very peaceful group. Some yelling and screaming I don't really care about. But they didn't break anything. They didn't cause a problem. They were cooperative with the police. And it's an open carry area. They were allowed to have their guns. They didn't cause a problem. They weren't doing anything illegal.
Comparing those two things, when the only thing you have is they had guns. Yeah, they had guns. Nobody got shot. As far as I know, nobody even got a gun pointed at them.
Yeah, not like, Austin or
Chaz,
or a couple times in Chaz. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. This is one disingenuous cunt that is just making shit up and blatantly lying. What a fucking bitch. She makes me so angry at their bullshit. We're right there with you, man.
Welcome to my world, my friend. And this is the kind of shit because on Lords of the Night, Scribe read a CNN article, the top takeaways from this thing. And it's all disingenuous shit because the media is only reporting what these idiots said. They paint Barr to just be carrying the president's water, and that's all that matters.
And this went on for like 4 hours, didn't it?
4 hours and 50 minutes is what it says down here at the bottom. I can't believe I watched that whole fucking thing.
Right? Well, they had a couple little breaks in there, but still.
Real quick, Dangerous Spaces. Thank you. My blood pressure medication can't take this bullshit. Oh, I know. She's the one that pissed me off the most because she was so adamant and she was doing this comparison and she just kept saying it. When it's the president's supporters, you didn't care. You know why you didn't care? There was no reason to. They were peaceable. They walked in there. Even when they went into the Capitol, they stormed the Capitol. No, they didn't.
No, they walked in. They even like had pat downs and shit. They had to go through the screeners. Did they have temperature checks?
Yes. They had their temperature check. They also rotated out so that more could come in because there were too many of them to get in all at one time. So they stood in line. These horrible people with their guns storming the fucking Capitol stood in line. Have you seen that down there at the Portland?
I haven't seen anything that looked like organization in Portland other than Antifa.
Hey, have you seen anything down there that looks awfully lawful?
No. They don't even pay attention to like the health and safety standards for food. I mean, you saw that place.
Oh God, yeah, that was disgusting.
Did you see the video? Somebody linked us. Somebody walking through there.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, I'll drop that in the thing in a second here.
This lady pissed me off so bad, but we're not done yet, guys. She's got more chin wagging to do.
Wait, Mr. Barr.
I have responsibility for the federal government, and the White House is the seat of the executive
Mr. Barr, let me just
branch,
make it clear.
not
You
for
are
the-
supposed to
the Michigan
represent
authorities
the
can
people
handle-
of the United
Michigan
States
authorities
of
can
America,
handle-
not violate people's First Amendment rights. You are supposed to uphold democracy and secure equal justice under the law, not violently dismantle certain protesters based on the president's personal agenda.
Gentlelady's time is expired.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to also introduce into the record a report from the MIT Election Data and Science Lab, which says that over the past 20 years, more than 250 million ballots have been cast by mail, and the fraud rate is 0.00006%.
Without objection.
Did that have anything to do with the fucking question she asked?
No, not a fucking thing.
Dangerous, thank you. Excuse me, can we enter the building? Equals storming. Yeah, right? They followed everything the police asked them to do. They weren't violent. They weren't unruly. They did everything they could, did everything they should do. And the only thing you have is one guy yelling at a legislator down the hall. But because his face is in the same picture as faces of police officers, are like, oh my God, they were even yelling. Somebody actually brings that picture up in here, Jack. Like, they're yelling in the police officer's face. I'm like, you can see he's not yelling in their face, for fuck's sake.
Well, it fits their narrative, and they will do anything to lie, cheat, and steal to be correct.
All right. No, not her. Lots of representation in this one. Not him. Not her. She was a treat, too. This is when we get into just, oh, is it this guy? Yeah. All right, you're going to be more pissed off?
Not really, but yeah, let's do it.
Look, people like when we do videos, Jack.
Oh, I love doing the videos. It's just, was such a frustrating shit show.
Yeah. I want you to notice right now, too. See how she does not have a mask on?
Mask lives matter.
She doesn't have one on and he doesn't have one on. But earlier in the committee meeting, this fat fuck throws a fit because these two aren't wearing their masks and chastises them for putting them all in danger. And they ask, can we drink coffee? And he's like, no. He actually said that. No. To that question.
Jeez.
Can we drink coffee? No. Jesus. Calm down, Jerry. Don't shit yourself. All right. We're done with Chinny.
Can we call her Chin Chinny Chim Chim Churi?
Yes.
Awesome.
Because fuck that bitch. I'll never remember to say that, but.
I know. I just wanted to throw that out.
Okay.
I thought it to be true at the time I made it.
Why
isn't it true?
June 9th, I'll get to that, Mr.
I
Barr.
mean, does it have
Mr.
to?
Barr,
I missed it.
I will get to
Whistling
that.
over-
Reclaiming my time. You answered.
Reclaiming my time.
An existing problem.
Mr. Nagoose is recognized.
Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, live TV. I don't have a producer. If you're offended by this, shut up.
Good afternoon, Mr. Attorney General. I want to go through a couple of your prior statements. On April 18th of 2019, you stated, quote, that the White House fully cooperated with the special counsel's investigation. You're aware of that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, who says, you mean she's not a Jay Leno impersonator? She could be. Easily. She wouldn't need the prosthetic chin so many use. Just as you said that the administration had cooperated fully with Mueller.
Today, yes or no, Mr. Barr, under the penalty of perjury, do you testify that that statement was true at the time you made it?
I thought it to be true at the time I made it.
Why
isn't it true?
June 9th, I'll get to that, Mr.
I
Barr.
mean, does it have to
Mr. Barr,
do with
I will
quibbling
get to
over-
that. Reclaiming my time, you answered the question.
Okay.
I have another question for you. On June 19th of
No,
2020.
actually, I need to answer that question.
Mr. Attorney General, you did answer the question.
No, you
I'll
said
give
under penalty of perjury. I'm going to answer the damn question.
You
okay?
said the answer
And-
was
and-
yes, is what you said.
I told you I like Barr.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
answer
like
the-
him more and more just because of stuff like this.
I'm going to answer the damn question.
Are
Well,
you saying no?
I think what I was referring to, and I'd have to see the context of it, was the supplying of documents.
No, Mr. Attorney General, this statement was not limited to the supply of documents. You stated
think
at a
that's
press,
what-
Mr. Attorney
I
General,
think
reclaiming
that's
my
what I was
time.
talking about.
Reclaiming my time.
You
That's
stated
what I
at a
was
press
talking
conference on
about.
April 19th of 2019 that the White House fully cooperated with the special counsel's investigation. You knew when you made that statement that the president had not agreed to be interviewed by the special counsel. Now, on June 18th
think
of
I
this year,
subsequently
Mr.
said
Attorney
that-
General,
This guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
I hate people who talk like this. That tone.
Oh, it's so condescending.
I was referring to
on
the
June 18th,
production of documents.
Mr. Attorney General, on June 18th of this year, the Department of Justice issued
Look at Barr's face. Look how he's sitting there. He's like, fuck this guy.
Right?
He's giving him no respect at all. Just like, fuck you.
Now, if the guy acted like a grown-up, he might be worth some respect.
Look at him. He's 12.
Well, there's that, too.
saying that Mr. Berman, a former U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, had, quote, stepped down. You're aware of that statement being released by the department, correct?
Yes.
And do you test?
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. When did Aziz Ansari get into office?
He does kind of move like him.
He does, yeah.
Testify today that that statement was true at the time the department issued it.
He may not have known it, but he was stepping down.
He may not have known that he was stepping down. That's your testimony today?
He was being removed.
Mr. Attorney General, this statement did not say that he was being removed. It did not say that he was being fired. It said that he was stepping down. Apparently, your testimony today is that that was, in fact, accurate when Mr. Berman has testified under oath to this committee that it, in fact, was not. Now, I want to talk.
Does he not understand that it's a face-saving move when someone gets fired to say they're stepping down?
He's not the only one who did this. There were, I think, 3 of the Congress people who like, oh, you said he was stepping down. He didn't step down. He's like, no, it was to save face for him. He was stepping down. He was being removed. I don't know what to tell you. This isn't some major conspiracy you've just cracked. You testified to this committee that he was not stepping down. Like, does he have the job still, bitch? Oh, God.
Talk
No,
about
no,
the
he was
separate process.
removed.
Mr.
He was
Attorney General,
removed, and I wanted an opportunity to offer him
understand-
another job
I
and talk
understand
to
your
him
rationalization
the next
for your
day.
answer, but the American
It's
people
not a
will let your
rationalization.
answer speak for itself. Now, Mr. Attorney General, earlier this year,
What a
President
dick.
Trump
Yeah.
stated that he had planned to make what he described as Vice President's, quote, Ukraine dealings an issue on the campaign trail. Earlier this year, on February 10th, you stated that you had set up a, quote, intake process for submission of information, intake process, end quote, for submission of information relating to Ukraine to the Justice Department.
Isn't it weird that he just ends that quote and fills in the rest? It's like he works for the press or something.
Yeah, well, maybe he wants to.
Why not just read the whole fucking quote, asshole?
Oh, no, that won't be good for his audition tape for an MSNBC consultant.
Guys, does the D&D CO stand for douchebag? In this case, yes. Normally it would stand for Democrat. I know these people are annoying, and that's why we're talking about them. This is your Congress. These are the people that work for you. Let people know how they are. Fuck them. They're assholes. Every one of them.
And that included, quote, these are your words, anything Mr. Giuliani might provide. Do you recall making those comments?
Something along those lines.
You'd concede there isn't anything standard about the Attorney General creating a special process for information related to advancing.
I disagree.
Thank you, Frank Hubbard. I keep having the urge to bitch slap them. I understand. Remember, we are brought to you by you. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and throw some money at Jack. Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Vol Potato. This cunt is taking quotes out of context and trying to catch Barr. Even my comfort food and drink can't stop me from getting pissed from this jackass. Dude, I'm right there with you. These people are so disingenuous. It's disgusting.
You know what? I'm gonna be nice. After this, we'll watch Jordan. Because Jordan, oh my God, Jim Jordan. I don't know much about the man, but when it comes time for these hearings, he is fucking fire, dude.
Yeah, he's really good at these type of hearings.
Yes.
I've seen him several times. He's from Ohio, so yeah, he was a wrestler in college. That's about all I know. Otherwise, I kind of like him overall.
Yeah, I don't know any of his politics. I know that there was some scandal with the wrestling thing. I don't remember what it was. It sounded stupid to me. But all I care about is watching him in these things. This is, the whole political thing that I like. And oh my God, he is. We'll get to him. We'll get to him.
And I also made it clear that is a vetting process that's available to anybody.
Is that right? Which U.S. attorney have you assigned to receive information from Vice President Biden's personal lawyers regarding President Trump?
Well, maybe if they had vetted the dossier,
maybe
if they vetted the dossier, we wouldn't have the whole
Mr. Attorney General,
problem.
There's no U.S. attorney, of course, that you've appointed to do that because what you have done with respect to this process is unprecedented. Now,
it was cautionary so that we do not pollute the criminal investigative process with Ukrainian disinformation.
I will give you an opportunity to explain this intake process. My understanding is that you have directed.
You are going to give me an opportunity?
I intend to right now. The Eastern District of New York.
But I'm still going to talk.
Responsible for that district. My understanding is that you have asked that U.S. attorney to be responsible for the intake process. Is that right?
Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Is there a South Portland autonomous zone? That would be spaz. There should be.
I like that.
No.
That's wrong. The U.S. attorney.
The U.S. attorney in the Eastern District was given oversight of all Ukrainian-related cases, any new cases involving Ukraine.
Correct.
We face a problem with Ukraine, which is unreliable information coming in. There's a lot of corruption there. It's a hall of mirrors.
Mr. Attorney General.
And I wanted to make sure that before we
I like when he goes dad voice
proceedings, and this was to everyone's benefit, particularly Vice President
Mr. Attorney
Biden,
General,
that the information was scrubbed
I appreciate
in conjunction
you noting
with
that,
the
and that is
intelligence
consistent
community.
with the memo that you issued, which said any and all
You know what?
new
I want to talk about something here. There was a very interesting dynamic that just happened here. This guy's a kid. What is he? 30, maybe 35 tops. And he is out of his league talking to this man.
Well, that's the problem with thinking you're the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
You're usually not.
And he just steamrolled this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Notice he wasn't able to claim back all his time. Barr's is like, fuck you, I'm going to answer. Anyway.
Matters relating to Ukraine shall be directed exclusively to the Eastern District of New York for investigation and appropriate handling, just as you've described right now. Now, of course, the U.S. attorney responsible in the Eastern District of New York was recently changed. My understanding is a few weeks ago, you announced that Seth Ducharme would be taking over to replace Rich Donahue. Mr. Ducharme, prior
Pittsburgh is in charge of the vetting.
Mr. Attorney General, prior to taking this position, Mr. Ducharme worked at Maine Department of Justice. Is that correct?
Yes, he was a counselor to me, and then he was the principal assistant deputy attorney general.
That's right. And rather than having the acting U.S. attorney, the deputy U.S. attorney, rather, in that district,
they wanted to swap jobs.
You now have appointed your prior counsel to oversee that very same process. With that, I yield back my time, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
He was trying to some nepotism there. Somebody who worked for you, you put them in a position of power. What would you want them to do? Pick somebody off the street?
Yeah, that's how people get promoted. They do a good job, and then you're like, hey, you want a better job? Because you're doing so good at this. Maybe you'd be good over here. How does he think this works?
Oh, man.
Sorry. Real quick. Thank you, some asshole named Joe. If I was Barr, I would have said, are you going to let me answer or not? The next reclaim of time, I would have walked out, middle finger up, telling them to fuck themselves as I walked out the door. They clearly don't want answers.
Barr did a very good job with this. He left a committee meeting one time. He had told them he only had so much time to be there. And once that time came up, he's like, I got to go. And they made a big ass deal about it. Like, you motherfucker, how dare you keep your timetable? And it's because he had some foreign dignitary he was supposed to be meeting. And he's like, yeah, I told you guys this. He goes, I'll come back and talk to you whenever the fuck you want, but I'm leaving right now.
Yeah, I got other shit to do. I'm a grown up.
Yeah, and it's funny to watch. Look, she got her mask on now. She didn't have it on last time we saw her. All right, let's give the audience something nice here. We're gonna go watch Jimmy. And we should talk to the audience. We haven't talked to them very much because we've been watching these things. So let's scroll back here just a little bit. Do you think they're still trying to railroad Barr, or do you think he's just dumb as a box of broken rocks on crack? I think watching this, I think they all wish they could have been questioning Trump.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were taking that out on Bill Barr.
Yeah, he's their proxy for the mean dad in this one.
Yep. They've gone full socialist where they don't believe in promoting people who do a good job. Well, yeah, there's no such thing as merit. Merit is bad.
Oh, that's capitalism and colonialism there. Merit. Psh.
Yeah, there's another person, and we may end up seeing them again, or may see this, but they brought, you've replaced people, and you always put in someone close to you. And by close to you, they don't mean like his son or his cousin. They mean somebody who worked for him.
Yeah, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
You put in people that you know can do the job, and who's the best people around for that? People you've already worked with.
He should take the beyond my purview thing.
Yeah, you can't exactly recruit from ZipRecruiter for, somebody at the some head of the Justice Department.
Thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep over on the Streamlabs, who says, quote, I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy, end quote. Bill Barr, right? He does this throughout when they're asking him the questions like that. He'll explain, like he did with Jayapal, how we say her name. He's like, no, I was responsible for the federal thing. Michigan can handle their own shit.
Yeah.
He tries to explain it over and over again. I don't think it's even that they don't get it. They know.
Oh, they know. They just want the soundbite for the news.
Yep.
They want to look like they're pushing the line and they're confronting him so that they'll get reelected by their dumbass constituents. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Barr should just have remained silent when they wanted him to answer. And when they asked for his answer, he could just say, oh, am I able to answer the question this time, or will you be talking over me? Just be a total dick to these cunts.
He did that a couple of times. Am I going to be? Yeah. Are you going to continue to talk over me? Oh, man, there's something in my eye. Shit.
That's your eyeball.
No, it's not that. Oh. I'm used to that. All right. This is, I love what Gerald Nadler. Here's old Jerry. Geriatric Jerry. Shit stain Jerry. Finishing up, and then Jordan comes on. I just don't want to miss any of Jordan's stuff. So that's why we got to listen to this dumb fuck.
And our country deserves no less. I now recognize the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, for his opening
just
statement.
So beautiful.
Spying. That one word. That's why they're after you, Mr. Attorney General. 15 months ago, April 10th, 2019, in a Senate hearing, you said this sentence, quote, I think spying on a political campaign is a big deal. Spying on a political campaign is a big deal. It sure is. And since that day, When you had the courage to state the truth, they attack you. They've been attacking you ever since, every day, every week, for simply stating the truth that the Obama-Biden administration spied on the Trump campaign. 1 year ago, New York Times had...
Time out. Did you hear what he did right there? Up until maybe 6 months ago, or if you heard them talking about what happened in the previous administration, they would always say the Obama administration. Throughout this, the Republicans were very clear to say in the Obama-Biden administration. Anytime they're pinning something on somebody, it's the Obama-Biden administration. It's very subtle, very subtle.
Yeah, it's a good tactic.
Yeah. I didn't even notice it with Jim. It's like 2 or 3 guys later. It's like, wait a minute. They've been doing that this whole... Oh, wow. Well played. Well played indeed.
Headline said this 1 year ago, quote, FBI sent investigator posing as assistant to meet with Trump aide in 2016. The FBI sent a young lady who used the name Azra Turk to meet Papadopoulos in September of 2016. They sent someone pretending to be someone else to meet a person associated with the Trump campaign. You know what they call that? You know what they call that? Spying. 1 month later, October 2016, they used the dossier to spy on Carter Page, the salacious, unverified dossier, Jim Comey's.
For the record, this is his opening statement. This is not him questioning Barr. When they do these, Jerry Nadler gets to do an opening statement. The ranking member of the minority, in this case, Jim Jordan, gets to do it. And then Barr gets to give his statement. Or did Barr go first? I can't remember. And then the questioning starts. So Nadler and Jordan go again. Just because we pointed out how they don't let him answer anything, I just want to be clear here that Barr's not supposed to be answering here.
Words, not mine. They took it to the FISA court, didn't tell the courts that the Clintons paid for it, didn't tell the court that the guy who wrote the document, Christopher Steele, had already communicated to the Justice Department that he was, quote, desperate to stop Trump from getting elected. And guess what? There were 15 more lies that they told the court. 17 in total. They're outlined by the Inspector General, each and every one of them in his 400-page report. But guess what? Chairman Nadler refuses to allow Mr. Horowitz to come here and testify and answer our questions about the 17 lies the Obama-Biden administration told to the secret court. The Obama-Biden DOJ opened the investigation.
This is all true, by the way.
They used a secret agent lady to spy on Papadopoulos in August.
Just want to say this. Don't take Jim Jordan's word for it. Don't take my word for it when I say it's true. Go look this shit up. He's not lying. There's nothing he says here that's wrong. You might disagree that that's why they're going after Barr, but all this shit he's laying out about the dirty shit the Obama administration did, it's all true. And frankly, they probably should have been tried for treason.
Yeah.
They lied to the FISA court in September, and they did all this without any basis for launching the investigation to begin with. How do we know that? How do we know there was no basis? They told us. Now, they didn't want to tell us, but thanks to Rick Burnell, who released the transcripts of their testimony, we now know there was no basis for them to start the investigation in the first place. Sally Yates, Rhodes, Samantha Power, Susan Rice. Here's what Susan Rice says. I don't recall intelligence I would consider evidence of a conspiracy. How about James Clapper? I never saw any direct evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was conspiring with the Russians to meddle with the election. Say that again. I never saw evidence that the Trump campaign was conspiring, and yet they investigate him.
I feel like I talk in that same way when I'm ranting.
There was no reason to do it. Why'd they do it? They told us that too. Peter Strzok, August 2016, asked, is Trump going to win? What's his response? Remember, this is Peter Strzok. This is the guy who ran the investigation.
We'll get to what Peter said in just a moment. Thank you so much, Bob Potato. Wait, are you telling me that shit of a man Nadler is actually letting the Republicans ask questions? He's being very magnanimous on his shit throne. He has to let them ask questions. He has no choice. It's parliamentary procedure. Yeah, if he could get away with not letting him ask questions, of course he would have.
Yeah.
No, he's not. We'll stop it. August, Peter Strzok says we'll stop Trump. September, they spy on Papadopoulos. October, they use the fake dossier to lie to the court. But guess what happens in November? Guess what happens in November? November 8th, 2016, the American people get in their way. 63 million of them, to be exact. Now everything changes.
Thank you, Frank Hubbard, who says he speaks like a TV preacher. Jack, if you do get donations, let me know and just interrupt at any time. It's no big deal.
Okay.
Which, by the way, he hasn't had to interrupt, guys. Give him money, please. Do it. Don't make me touch my pee-pee.
Jesus.
Give Jack money or I'm going to touch my pee-pee. Yeah, he kind of does talk like a preacher. I just like, because he sets stuff up and then he knocks it down for you. And I as I listen to him, I'm like, oh, I kind of do that myself. I hope it's not irritating, because when I'm in a full-on rant, that shit happens. Anyway, back to Mr. Jim Jordan. Oh, wait, something just went off. Did I already get it? I don't know. Yes, I got it all. Okay, here we go.
Now the real focus is, wow, wait a minute. We didn't stop him. He won. Now what do they have to do? They have to do the cover-up. And who do they have to go after? Who's target number one in their cover-up? The former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the guy who's about to become National Security Advisor to the President of the United States, Michael Flynn. They can't have him hanging around because he'll figure it out. So they decide to go after Michael Flynn, 3-star general, served our country for over 3 decades. And we know they went after him because they told us that too. Bill Priestep, head of counterintelligence.
Jim is not playing.
The day they interview Flynn, January 24th,
he is just laying it all out.
His notes say what?
He should.
Our goal.
Yep.
To get Flynn to lie so we can prosecute him, or to get him fired. Think about what the Obama, Biden, DOJ, what their administration did in the last month. The last month they were in power. January 4th, the agents investigating Flynn want to drop the case. Comey tells them no. January 5th, they have the now famous meeting in the Oval Office. Obama, Biden, Rice, Comey, all of them are in there. They're plotting their strategy.
You okay?
Yeah, real quick. Thank you, P-Dog Knight. Monkey, leave your pee-pee alone.
Thank you. You saved both of us. Yeah, this is just Jim. He lays out all the bullshit that happened with Russia. And he keeps going. But there's more that I want you to see. This gets really good, Jack. I promise. Did you see all of his testimony?
I saw most of this part.
Okay.
How they're going to get Flynn. January 6th, Comey goes up to Trump Tower, briefs President-elect Trump on the dossier that they already know is false, just so they can leak it to the press, and the press will write the story that they briefed the president on the dossier.
That's true.
And then, of course, January 24th, the day they go set up Michael Flynn.
Do you think anybody on CNN is going to be playing any of what Jim said here?
They did?
Oh, God, no.
Between Election Day and Inauguration Day. That 2-month time, guess what else they did? 38 people, 49 times unmasked Michael Flynn's name.
Yep.
Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Biden. 7 people at the Treasury Department unmasked Michael Flynn's name, for goodness sake. And of course, Flynn resigns on February 13th. Flynn resigns on February 13th. Now the cover-up is complete. Flynn's gone. Everything's fine, they think, until May 9th, 2017.
Do you know what happened on May 9th, 2017? Jim does such a good job laying out the whole timeline here, because he just pointed it out, guys. They went through, systematically got rid of anybody who could have called bullshit on this. Anybody who would have been like, oh, dude, we need to stop this. But then,
when President Trump fires Jim Comey, now they got a problem again.
Yep.
The guy who was going to keep it all quiet, he's been
fired.
Nuts. Now, how do they continue the cover-up? Real simple. Jim Comey leaks his memos with the express purpose of getting a special counsel appointed to investigate something they already know is not true.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. We get 2 years, 19 lawyers, 40 agents, 500 witnesses, 2,800 subpoenas, and a $30 million cost to the taxpayer, and they come back with nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Because they knew it was bullshit from the start.
To attack the Attorney General, who had the courage to state the truth right from the get-go. The first time he testifies after he's confirmed. And you guys attack him every day, every week, and now you filed articles of impeachment against him. It's ridiculous. He had the courage to do what no one else would do at the Justice Department. Sally Yates wouldn't call it spying.
Look,
Jeff
Nadler's
Sessions
asleep.
wouldn't do it. Rod Rosenstein wouldn't do it. Chris Wade,
Surprise.
heck, isn't going to do it. So, Mr. Attorney General, I want to thank you for having the courage to call it what it was, spying. I want to thank you for having the courage to say we're going to get the politics out of the Department of Justice that was there in the previous administration. And maybe most importantly, and we're going to talk about this in our side.
I'm going to pause right there just for a moment because this cannot be over. The Obamagate thing, the news treats it like it's a joke. What the Obama administration did there was not just dirty, it was probably criminal.
Oh, yeah.
Lying to a FISA court is absolutely criminal. There's no question about that. The FISA court allows the government to spy on Americans. And Barr does bring this up at one point, but it has a much higher standard than any other court. Because they are spying on Americans. They're basically violating what's our Fourth Amendment right.
Yeah.
And so they have a very high bar they're supposed to hit. And we know for a fact that at least one of the things that they turned into the FISA court as evidence was fucking forged. An FBI agent forged the shit. It was made up. All of the other stuff they knew was garbage, and they did it anyway. And this is another. They had no scandals during that administration. They should still have scandals going on now.
Yeah.
And the Republicans really should have dug into that shit more when they had the House. They did a very bad job with that, and they should be digging into it more now that they still have the Senate. But no, these guys are going to get off with nothing. They should be tried for treason. Period. Including Biden. Biden was in on this. He was in the room.
Well, like I said, they'll do anything to cover for their own. They don't really give a shit beyond that.
I just loved how Jordan laid this all out. He's just like, this is what happened, and they're coming after you for it. And he's not wrong about that. As I said, if you watch this, you really get the sense that they wish they could be talking to Donald Trump. There's actually a few points where like, could you go back and tell your boss for me? And like, fuck you. I just wish one of those times you went, I'm not your fucking errand boy.
Right?
This is why I can't work in a government office, because if I had to testify before Congress like that, I'm afraid I'd swear at him. I'd be held in contempt of Congress.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes that doesn't matter. So
I'd just be like, go fuck you. What are you talking about? The first time when I reclaim my time, I go, fuck yourself.
Nadler, you look like you smell like urine.
I want to thank
Whoops. Hate when I double click like that. All right, ready?
you for defending law enforcement.
Here we go.
For pointing out what a
This is the
crazy
part.
idea this defund the police policy, whatever you want to call it, is, and standing up for the rule of law. And frankly, we have a video we want to show that gets right to this point. Can we play that video, please?
Now, I don't know how the sound is going to be on here, so I apologize if it's really bad, but watch what they did. Watch how they opened this fucking hearing. It's beautiful.
Clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protesters. Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest.
Jim is amazing.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protesters.
On behalf of myself, my children, and the family of David Dorn, we'd like to thank friends, neighbors, coworkers, and the community for showing all the love and support we've suffered through the tragic loss of my husband.
The
my
black
beloved
life they
husband,
don't
David
care
Dorn.
about.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, David Dorn was the former police officer who went to check on a friend's pawn shop and got murdered.
Yeah.
And yeah, nobody cared about him. Suddenly, property doesn't matter when it comes to a human life. That was fuck that guy. Fuck him. There were even people. Well, he used to be a cop.
We'd also like to thank St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department for their hard work and perseverance through this investigation.
Look at that peaceful protest.
As well as Circuit Attorney's Office. He
Look at
dedicated
that.
his life to
Peaceful
the city of St.
protest.
Louis, retiring at the rank of captain
I love how they keep her voice
after
playing.
38 years of distinguished
Yeah.
service. Then as a chief of Moline Acres for almost 6 years. During those years, he's touched so many lives as a friend, mentor, co-worker, and guardian. His life was senselessly
peaceful.
taken from me, from us,
Black Lives Matter,
by an
y'all.
opportunist who had no regards for human life or the law. This didn't have to happen, but it must have been God's plan.
Yeah,
for
peacefully breaking out a windshield.
David. We need to come together as a community and do better. We need to teach our young people that life is very precious.
There's that target. Right on target.
We as a family are going to be taking some
Stay
time to
on
focus
target.
our attention on healing, which is very important as we move forward. We would like David's legacy to be remembered as a loving husband, father, grandfather, brother, uncle, friend, colleague, and most importantly, a child of God. I want to thank you all for coming, and God bless you all.
You didn't see all the hand wringing over that cop getting run over that way, the same way you did that chick who got hit in Seattle.
No.
There's not a bunch of people on the news going, oh my God, look at this horrible video. There's the fence. That fence is there to keep them the fuck out. Apparently they have a right to be inside that fence. Yeah. Show it one more time, then run over this poor bastard. And just kept going. Peaceful. Again, guys, sorry for the sound. No real control over this one. That peaceful fire. It's a fire of peace, you guys. See anything peaceful there, Jack?
Not yet.
Got a link to this? Yes, I'll send it to you in just a second, Cynic. Had to beep it all. We watched that one when it happened.
Yeah.
We watched a lot of this as it happened.
Yeah. Slightly. There's more here that I've seen live than I care to admit to.
Yeah.
Should have showed the one where it hit that dude in the head.
Right? All right, I got to turn this down a little bit because this is annoying as hell. There. I just love that he showed it. I love that they're like,
absolutely. This is stuff the media won't show you.
And like I said, later they do show the Democrats show some, and I'll find it. I'm sure. It's just like, oh, you fucking dick. They already showed what they're talking about. This is what they're talking about when they're like, this isn't peaceful protesting. This is rioters. There's nothing peaceful about that.
Yeah, a bunch of these cops in Chicago got hurt defending that statue.
Yep.
And had they been allowed to do their jobs, they would have beat that crowd back, and it wouldn't have happened at all. And there would have been way less injuries.
Yeah, they should have fired tear gas at these fuckers. They'd have went away. Because they're all a bunch of fucking pussies. They are wonderful in a crowd, man. They are, when the police aren't moving on them, they are brave as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're totally emboldened. They know they get away with it. So consequences for any of this crap.
This part they dragged on a little too long. I actually skipped forward because I was behind as I was watching it, so I skipped it forward and jumped ahead, but they stayed on it a little too long. There's plenty of other footage. Plenty of other footage. This is them arresting somebody. Which, by the way, I love to watch.
Yeah. That's funny.
I saw this one live, too.
Yeah. I think we were watching this.
Yeah. Why do you guys always hit the gas when we're punching your car?
We're just trying to kill you.
There's a dude with a leaf blower. There's now a leaf blower guy in the official congressional record. How great is that?
Right? But they've got 5 or 6 of them now. They have a whole squad.
Oh. This is when the police were retreating back into the building because they pushed every. This is the one where they look so brave here. We actually talked about this on the show the night after it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was his. I just love that he showed the video. It's like, dude.
Well, I hope that Mr. Jordan will never complain about the length of my opening statement.
Shut up, you fat fuck. Anyway, so yeah, I really love that he showed that because one, he lays out the timeline of why they're going after him, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, here's the shit they're going to be talking about," just so everybody gets to see it right up front. Good on him. Good on him. Leaf blower squad. Yes, they have a full battalion, I believe.
Yeah, all they do is when they get a couple of them together, they can make a little tornado out of the smoke, but it doesn't actually accomplish what they think it's accomplishing.
No, if you watch what he just did there, it kind of looks like it's working, but it's just that the gas hasn't come towards him yet. Yeah. And once it does not move at all.
Yeah, because it's too heavy. I mean, it's not just air. You're literally not blowing leaves. It's a gas. Oh, so aggravating.
Oh, got it. I can't. We're not gonna watch this bitch because I can't look at her. She just looks like she had the worst life ever and is gonna take it out on you. I don't know who the fuck she is.
It's Grandma Karen. That's who that is.
There's Collins. Oh, God. Okay. We're going to... we have to watch this one. This one's just a matter of principle. I have to watch this one. The gentleman you're about to see. Should I wait and tell him who he is?
I'll leave the surprise.
I'll tell you who he is after we listen to his questioning. And of course, I'll interrupt throughout because that's what I do. Nobody spoil it if you know.
Do you stand by that statement?
Yes.
Oh, I missed
now, I'm sure that
whatever the beginning was there. Hang on.
All
right.
Falsehoods. I've said that
this is the end of Collins. I'm just going to have to just catch the ends because I don't have a producer, Jack.
And had waited till the Georgia completed its investigation.
I appreciate your
I should say we don't have a producer because you don't have one either.
Thank you. With that, the chair recognizes...
Nadler had to go get a nap.
From Georgia.
Thank you. General Barr, your opening statement reads like it was written by Alex Jones or Roger Stone.
Your opening statement reads like it was written by Alex Jones. We didn't hear his statement, but there was nothing wrong with what he said. It was no conspiracy theory at all. We can watch it afterwards just so you guys can go, okay, Monkey's not wrong. But your statement reads like it was written by Alex Jones. Are you ready? Never mind. I know
Did you drop the link for Cynic?
Oh, no. Let me get that real quick. I forgot all about it. Thank you for reminding me. Bam, there you go.
Do you stand by that statement?
Yes.
Now, I'm sure that we can agree on some things. We disagree on a whole lot, but I'm sure we can agree on the fact that President Trump is just a prolific tweeter. Isn't that correct?
He seems to be.
Yes.
And he tweeted many times about the Roger Stone sentencing, didn't he?
I don't know how many times he tweeted about it.
Well, many times. You are aware of them because you said it hurts you from doing your job. And isn't it true that when prosecutors in the Roger Stone case filed a memo with the court recommending a sentence of 7 to 9 years in prison, a few hours later, President Trump tweeted that the sentence recommendation was, quote, a disgrace. You're aware of that?
Yes.
And General Barr, several hours after that.
Now, all throughout this hearing, there's Democrats who try to make it sound like Bill Barr just hangs on the president's every tweet. Partially because of the statement that Barr did make, saying that the president tweeting makes his job difficult sometimes.
Yeah, which is not inaccurate. I'm sure it makes a lot of people's jobs difficult sometimes.
It doesn't mean he reads them all. It means those are the ones that blow up in the press and that he's asked about.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that.
Just because you guys are standing there waiting so that you can be the first one to type in when he does something doesn't mean everybody is, you fucking sick shitbags.
No, the people have jobs and they're actually doing them, unlike this giant waste of time.
Faithless asks, who's dumber, this guy or AOC? Oh.
So race to the bottom on that one.
Yeah, that might be a tie.
That you filed a pleading with the court stating that the sentence recommendation would be changed and that you would be asking for a lighter sentence for Roger Stone. Isn't that correct?
No, what is correct is that, what is correct that on February 10th, Monday, I gave instructions as to what
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah,
reclaiming my time. You're trying to set the record straight. I'm not gonna let you do that. We're just gonna have what I said as the official record.
Yeah,
I hate these people.
If you don't agree with me, then you can shut up.
Yep.
Answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer.
Reclaiming my time, you filed a sentencing recommendation hours after President Trump tweeted his dissatisfaction with the Stone recommendation, and you changed that recommendation.
No, the night before, that is Monday night.
I know your story, but I'm asking.
Well, I'm telling my story. That's what I'm here to do. Well, I did. Why I'm here. Well, I'm here.
I don't want you to tell your story. I want you to answer my question. That's what this fuck just said.
What he meant by that was, I want you to agree with me or shut up. That's all this is. Every single person that's on the Democrat side, that's their entire thing is, you should agree with me or shut the fuck up.
Here to tell my story. And on the night before, on February 10th,
sir,
on February 10th, I directed.
Reclaiming my time, sir. Reclaiming my time. And I know you don't want to answer, but the fact
he's trying to answer.
Sentencing recommendation
he's fucking
made
trying.
in the morning, tweet in the afternoon. You changed the sentencing recommendation that.
No, tweet was not made in the afternoon. The tweet was made at, I think, 1:30 or 2 in the morning.
Well, the tweet was made before and after.
You don't know. He doesn't even know when it happened.
Relentlessly, and you've agreed to that. Now, when you filed your sentencing recommendation asking for a lower sentence.
I didn't ask for a lower sentence.
Well, you said that you were going to recommend a lower sentence. And you
no,
wasn't the sentence that was recommended by the line prosecutor.
This might be, there's a couple of times where Barr gets in some really good shots, and I hope it's this one. But I can't remember. But what he's about to do is very, very disingenuous, Mr. Hank Johnson here.
Yeah.
Which is going to come as a giant surprise to you guys. Because they've been so honest about everything so far. I'm not a Republican, but I damn near just hate Democrats, especially in Congress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They are shitty people. They are just shitty people.
According to the sentencing guideline calculations,
It was within the guidelines, but it was not within Justice Department policy, in my view.
General Barr, you're expecting the American people to believe that you did not do what Trump wanted you to do when you changed that sentencing recommendation and lowered it for Roger Stone.
Real quick, Shrouded Angel, thank you so much. What does reclaim my time mean? It means the person has to shut up, so instead of answering the question that was asked to them, it's like, look, I don't care what you say. I'm just going to go back to talking.
Yeah, see, they get like 5 minutes to ask their questions or make statements. And what they're doing is when they ask a question, that clock is still ticking when the other person is answering.
Yep.
So by reclaiming their time, they're saying, shut up, it's my turn. Because they've only got that set amount of time.
Yep.
It keeps people from running out the clock, supposedly.
Yeah, I want to hear your answer, but I'm not going to let you.
Yeah.
You think
it really is something useful if that person is just babbling just to fill the time up so you can't ask them any more questions and they're dodging, but they're using it in the completely wrong way because they're assholes.
Don't understand that you were carrying out Trump's.
I was not. I had not discussed my sentencing recommendation with anyone at the White House or anyone outside the department.
Wanted you to do, and that's what you did.
No.
Attorney
let me ask you: do you think it's fair? Do you think it is fair for a 67-year-old man to be sent to prison for 7 to 9 years?
It was in accordance with the sentencing.
No, it was not.
You just said that it was. And your line prosecutors will testify that it was also. Now, I'm going to move on from that.
The department.
During your time as Attorney
General, it is not the department.
Herbert Walker Bush, you never changed the sentencing recommendation for a friend of Herbert Walker Bush, did you?
No, as I recall.
Herbert Walker Bush. That's George Bush, you guys. The last George Bush, 43 or whatever he was.
No, that's Herbert Walker was 41.
Oh, yeah, 41. His dad. My bad.
Yeah.
Paul.
All right. That's all I'm asking. No. And over the course of your time as Trump.
Nothing was never elevated to me.
Over the course of your tenure with Trump, you've changed 2 sentencing recommendations. Not 1, but 2. Correct?
Which were they?
Yeah, Michael Flynn.
I didn't change it.
Well, you said... Well, you indicated that you changed it because the original Flynn sentencing recommendation was for Flynn to serve 0 to 6 months. But under your authority, the Justice Department supplemented that recommendation with a pleading that stated the Department of Justice's agreement with Flynn's lawyers that probation would be a reasonable sentence, and that the DOJ would not be seeking prison time for Michael Flynn.
Mighty Balzac, thank you. Congress is asshole, indeed. He's saying that they changed the recommendation after they got a plea.
Well, let's face it. Hank here isn't the sharpest bulb.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a minute.
Correct.
I don't think that's what it said.
Well, that's what it said, sir. You go back and read it.
I think both pleadings said that.
Reclaiming my time prior to you becoming.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Madam Chair, you can give a speech or you can ask questions. If you do the latter, you need to let the witness answer the questions. Chair's obligation, chair's responsibility to allow that to happen.
Mr. Buck is recognized.
I love Jim Jordan.
Right? Watching him and Trey Gowdy together on the well, they were on one of the Obama things where they had to interview people, and watching those two play off each other was fucking amazing.
During the impeachment, him and Collins together was awesome.
Yeah.
They were an awesome team. For those of you who don't know the guy who was just speaking, Mr. Hank Johnson of Georgia, this is a man who once suggested that the island of Guam, that if enough people were on one side of it, it could capsize.
True story.
He used that word, and that is important because his campaign tried to, or his office tried to cover for him, saying that no, what he meant was figuratively. The fuck do you figuratively capsize? And
well, it's just gonna flip right over, monkey. And that's how islands work.
You guys, if you've never seen that, go look it up. It is one of the most. If he wasn't high as fuck that day, he has no excuse.
Yeah, if he wasn't high, he's fucking crazy.
And he does this all the time. He's a stupid man. That's why when we were asked who's dumber, him or AOC, it's a close race. They are neck and neck.
I'd probably lean toward him a little bit on that one, just because of the Guam comment. AOC says some dumb stuff, but
I mean, what is a garbage disposal, you guys? That's still not quite as dumb as an island flipping over. I mean, do you not understand even the basics of geology? The bare basics of geology.
Dude, like an 8th grader could have told him that that's not how that works. It's just sad.
How is he still in office? Getting asked. Well, the people in his district are really fucking stupid. Yeah, it's amazing to me that this man kept his job after saying that. Anyway, meth, not even once, guys. Jim, I mean, he was on fire during this thing. He didn't get a whole lot of chances to speak, but when he did, it was pretty awesome to watch. Is there any other ones that I really wanted to see? Trying.
The thing was filled with like really quotable moments where you're like, "Are you fucking kidding?" It was like 4 hours of that.
You want to see Swalwell?
Does he get a fart?
Neither figuratively nor actually, like he's done. This is a man who farted on TV and also had one of the shortest presidential campaigns in history.
Because he farted that one up too.
Dumbass jumped in the race and then told people, if you don't give us your guns, we're going to nuke you.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Hell yes, I'm coming for your AR-15s. That's this idiot.
Yeah.
Any other case where...
And there's still... That actually works out well because this is still on the Flynn / Roger Stone thing.
Gentleman yields back.
Jerry's done with his nap. He's
Mr.
come
Barr,
back out to
have you ever
oversee it.
intervened other than to help the president's friend get a reduced prison sentence for any other case where a prosecutor had filed a sentencing recommendation with the court?
A sentencing recommendation?
Yeah, have you ever intervened other than that case with the president's friend?
Not that I recall. If you're talking,
Does that seem like something you'd recall? Where you would?
Well, I'm saying I can't really remember my first. If you let me finish the question, I
That's
can't
a big
remember.
deal,
30
right?
years ago, I was Attorney General.
As Attorney General now.
But no, I didn't. But that's because issues come up to the Attorney General in a dispute, and I had never heard of a dispute. I've never heard of a dispute in the department where line prosecutors threatened to quit.
Well, it's a pretty big deal, and they
because of a
Mr. Barr,
discussion over sentencing.
Americans from both parties are concerned that in Donald Trump's America, there's two.
I love how he grew his beard to grow
one
up.
for Mr. Trump and his cronies. And
Yeah, I'm not a kid anymore.
That can only happen if you enable it.
He's a douche.
At your confirmation hearing,
I hate this guy.
You were asked, do you believe a president could lawfully issue a pardon in exchange for the recipient's promise to not incriminate him? You said, no.
Not to what?
That would be a crime. You were asked, could a president issue a pardon in exchange for the recipient's promise to not incriminate him? And you responded, no, that would be a crime. Is that right?
Yes, I said that.
You said a crime. You didn't say it'd be wrong. You didn't say it'd be unlawful. You said it would be a crime. And when you said that a president swapping a pardon to silence a witness would be a crime, you were promising the American people that if you saw that, you would do something about it. Is that right?
That's right.
It was pointed out it was Beto who actually said the line, "Hell yes, we're coming for your AR-15." You're correct.
Yeah, but they Swalwell and a couple others said they'd take guns too after Beto said that. So
Swalwell was saying it before Beto. He didn't say it in those words.
Yeah,
that was his campaign strategy. It was all about taking guns, and he got swallowed because everybody's like, "What else do you think?" He's like, "I don't know.
I don't have thoughts. I just wait.
I'm gonna go grow my beard out.
I'm this many."
It's good to see those hormones are working. Yeah. So he's being asked if the president was going to exchange a pardon for somebody not telling on him, would that be illegal? He's like, yeah, of course. And here we go.
Now, Mr. Barr, are you investigating Donald Trump for commuting the prison sentence of his longtime friend and political advisor, Roger Stone?
No.
Why not?
Why should I?
Mr.
I fucking love. Why should I? Oh God.
Stone was convicted by a jury on 7 counts of lying in the Russia investigation. He bragged that he lied to save Trump's butt. But why would he lie?
You got a quote for that, Jerry? Or Eric? Sorry, I'm still mad at Fat Boy too. You got a quote for that, Eric? Here's what in the Stone case. There's a whole bunch of these things like the witness tampering. It's because he made jokes on Twitter. That's a true story. Look it up. The things that they got, he made jokes on Twitter, you guys. He said he was going to get somebody's dog.
But see, humor is illegal, monkey.
You think if he was making a serious threat, he'd be doing it on fucking Twitter or in tweets that he know or in text that he knows can be saved? Fucking idiots.
Your prosecutors, Mr. Barr, told a jury that Stone lied because the truth looked bad for Donald Trump. And what truth is that? Well, Donald Trump denied in written answers to the Russia investigators that he talked to Roger Stone during the time Roger Stone was in contact with agents of a Russian influence operation. There's evidence that Trump and Stone indeed did talk during that time. You would agree that it's a federal crime to lie under oath. Is that right?
Yes.
It's a crime for you, it's a crime for me, and it's certainly a crime for the President of the United States. Is that right?
Yes.
So if Donald Trump lied to the Mueller investigators, which you agree would be a crime, then Roger Stone was in a position to expose Donald Trump's lies. Are you familiar with the December 3rd, 2018 tweet where Donald Trump said, Roger?
You know, Jack, there's something in perjury law where you have to prove that they knowingly did it.
Yeah. It's called intent.
The president being asked, did you talk to Roger Stone between April and May? And going, no. It's not necessarily perjury. Could it be? Sure. Fucking idiot. But the underlying investigation, there's nothing there. Literally nothing there.
That's a hate fact. Look, just because there's no evidence, that evidence is a colonialist construct. We've already got the crime in our minds. We just have to find some evidence to link it together and say, that's it. Woo, we got him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Roger Stone had shown guts by not testifying against him?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
You don't read the president's tweets?
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of evidence in the president's tweets, Mr. Attorney General. I think you should.
He gets asked about the tweets a lot.
Mr. Stone showed guts, but on July 10 of this year, Roger Stone declared to a reporter, I had 29 or 30 conversations with Trump during the campaign period. Trump knows I was under enormous pressure to turn on him. It would have eased my situation considerably, but I didn't. The prosecutors wanted me to play Judas. I refused. Are you familiar with that Stone statement?
Actually, I'm not.
So how can you sit here and tell us, why should I investigate the president of the United States if you're not even aware of the facts concerning the president using the pardon or commutation power to swap the silence of a witness?
Jack, let me ask you something. Would it be unusual for a prosecutor not to prosecute something that he has no knowledge of?
No, that'd be what we call normal. If he doesn't have knowledge of a crime, he can't really pursue it because he doesn't know it.
Yeah, This guy is such a fucking retard.
Yeah.
How can you sit here and tell us that you're not even looking into it when you don't even know any of this stuff? Well, I don't know that shit, so that's why I would ask, why would I?
I think the real question he's trying to ask is, why don't you monitor the president's Twitter?
That's what I'm telling you, man. They think he should be sitting there watching it all day, every day, like they do.
Right? Like, this dude has nothing better to do.
He's the Attorney General of the United States. He's not an overpaid shitbag who comes up to Washington to try to justify his paycheck. You know, these guys
basically
didn't used to work all year round. I feel like we should go back to that.
Well, they'd have to get grown-up jobs, and that's not about to happen.
Good God. Swalwell steps on his dick all the time. It's one of the reasons he is one of my favorite people asking questions.
Yeah, because he's a fucking retard.
Yeah, it goes back to the quote from My Cousin Vinny, and I don't know if that's from somewhere else. It's just where I learned it. It's not just knowing, or you have to know what questions not to ask.
Yeah.
And Swalwell doesn't. He all the time steps on his own fucking dick, man. Let's go back to dummy here.
Because we require, a reliable predicate before we open a criminal investigation.
And I just gave you, sir.
I don't consider it. I consider it a very Rube Goldberg theory that you have.
Isn't that nice?
It's an awesome reference.
If I applied this standard, there'd be a lot more people under investigation.
I fucking love him.
Attorney General, the very same day that Roger Stone said that, Donald Trump,
that's one of the
no surprise.
The true two standards of justice were really during the tail end of the Obama administration.
Mr. Attorney General, let's turn to the Michael Cohen case. Are you
Isn't that
aware, sir,
beautiful?
that Michael Cohen, after being released from...
Did y'all catch what he just said there? He said the two standards of justice were really at the tail end of the Obama administration.
And for those of you that don't know, Rube Goldberg was the guy that designed a bunch of like overly complicated stuff, like the game Mousetrap. If you've ever played that, the really complicated way you try and catch the mice. That's a Rube Goldberg device.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, I don't even know how Barr is done as Attorney General. Every time I've seen him in these hearings, I fucking love him. Same thing with Jim Jordan. I don't know his politics. I just know when I'm watching him on here, like, damn, just burn the fuck out of that guy.
Prison was asked to not engage with the media, including to write a book. Were you aware
It's
that that was going to be asked?
Was I aware?
This is something I learned something watching this today, Jack. He's asking about the Cohen thing that just came out. There was a ruling that said the deal to let him out of prison was unconstitutional, illegal, whatever, because it had a clause in it that said he couldn't write a book for a while he was under house arrest. And dipshit here is about to step on his dick again.
Shocker.
Because that's what he does.
Yes.
No.
Do you know if anyone else in your department was aware?
Maybe I should tell you what happened.
Why don't you tell us what happened?
Okay. He was furloughed from the Bureau of Prisons.
No. Why don't you tell us why he was asked?
I will tell you.
Agreement not
Because something that people don't seem to understand is that his home confinement was not being supervised by the Bureau of Prisons. It was being supervised by the probation office, which is part of the U.S. court system. And it was the U.S. court system that had the requirements about not writing.
That U.S. court system.
Did you know that, Jack?
Nope.
Like, oh, damn, I didn't know that. And Swalwell just set him up again. And Barr's like, hang on, let me knock that one out of part for you, you stupid motherfucker. The prison or the parole system, the courts did that. It wasn't the Justice Department. Huh. That's not in your news stories, though, is it?
I'd like to point out that both Evalda and Assassin have pointed out that Swalwell probably has a tiny dick.
Oh, you know he does.
Yeah, because Evalda said what makes it even worse is how hard it is to step on a dick that small. And Assassin said he couldn't possibly step on his own dick. It's a cocktail weenie.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a fucking retard, man. And I do want to point out, He's wearing a wedding ring. Somebody married this dumb motherfucker.
Oh, must have been for the money.
I hope it was.
Some called your actions retaliatory. Do you agree with that?
No, so all I know is what has been said in court before the judge and in the record, which is that the individual was then called by the U.S. court system saying that this guy Cohen is uncooperative. He's not agreeing to the conditions. And at that point, a Bureau of Prisons person made the decision that he was no longer eligible for home confinement.
Conditions that a federal judge said no other inmate had ever been asked of in his experience. Mr. Barr, you told ABC News that
I didn't do it, dumbass.
Sometimes make your job impossible. But sir, your job is only impossible if you enable the president's corrupt schemes. And I yield back.
What?
Your job is only impossible if you enable the president. He thought that was a good burn.
Yeah, of it. So he probably rehearsed that one all day.
He did. Yeah, he was in front of the mirror. His wife was like, "Oh God, he's talking to himself again."
You're lucky you're rich, because otherwise I'd leave you.
You need to leave so I can bang the gardener again. I hate that man. I really do. Swalwell's such a douchebag.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have seen enough. I don't want to keep going on it. Like, it is almost 5 hours long. We could jump back and forth. Mike plop. We could jump back and forth, but you guys can go watch it. I dropped the link. I can do it again for you if you want to watch the whole thing. I do recommend it so you know what's going on. As always, never just take my word for it. Anything these assholes say, go look it up if you're like, wait, that doesn't sound right. And especially if it sounds too right. If you're agreeing with it too much and you don't have the information, go look it up yourself. Always. Avoid making an ass of yourself. So, Jack.
Yes, sir.
This is how the Congress spent 5 hours of time that we pay for today.
Yeah, we paid for this with our tax money.
They drug the Attorney General of the United States up before them to whine about how he treats Antifa, to whine about how he was unfair to Michael Cohen, even though he had nothing to do with that decision, to whine about Roger Stone, to whine about the guy from the Southern District of New York getting fired. And the way they said it, you said he stepped down. Well, he said that he was stepping down. He might not have known he was, but he was. This is what they did. Now, the Republican, this happens anytime when somebody calls a witness. In this case, the Democrats called him up to talk. They tend to be hostile towards him if they don't like him. If they do like him, they're very sweet. And then the other side is hostile to him. I've seen a lot of shit shows, Jack. I watch this stuff. I used to watch C-SPAN just religiously. I love C-SPAN. I have never seen one like this. I have never seen one that hostile to the Attorney General. Some of the insulting things they said to this man, basically accusing him of treason, was just fucking outrageous. Real quick, Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you. I wish to reclaim my time of that stupid hearing as a taxpayer, if only. If only. The one that bothered me the most, though, Jack, because they're going to whine about the politics and stuff, but they spent quite a bit of time on the riots that are going on. And every Democrat up there, every fucking one of them, ignored all of the horrible shit that's been going on. All of it. Not one fucker acknowledged any of it. Just over and over and over again. The peaceful protesters.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they think they could control Antifa. And they see these people as their useful idiots. And that's not how this works. They may be useful idiots, but they're not the Democrat Party's useful idiots.
Hey, Becca, how you doing, sweetheart? When Jayapal talked, I was getting hot, man.
Yeah.
Like really fucking mad. The stuff that has been done to officers, at least 3 blinded with nothing more than a laser.
Yeah.
But he was peacefully pointing that laser in that cop's eye.
And when we saw the one guy get hit in the head with a hammer, we saw another guy get hit in the head with some sort of thrown object. We've seen these guys getting their asses handed to them because Portland's not helping them.
Look at that Chicago footage.
Yeah. The cops have had their hands tied on this, and they've been putting up with a lot of shit. I'm not surprised a lot of people are retiring early or leaving the force, and then you're going to get more bad cops. And at some point, a lot of these guys are probably going to get shot. The cops, I mean, because we've been seeing this escalate. So some of these cops are probably going to get killed out of this. And these stupid Democrats are standing up for them, making excuses. It's disgusting.
Evolved Potato said they were making things up and literally lied after being told the truth. They did. They know. Barr corrected them repeatedly. He said it's her. We're talking about the rioters. There was one. I don't know where it was, and I wish I did. Excuse me. Oh, now I'm yawning. 2 hiccups and a yawn. That's I think it's a Yahtzee, isn't it?
I think so.
Fuck. What was I talking? Oh, somebody had asked him, is it okay to gas the peaceful protesters? And Barr told him, like, look, I didn't put them there. And I'm paraphrasing him. Like, they're in there with the rioters. It's not like we can only gas the rioters. And this is something these fucking idiots don't seem to understand. Like, why have they mean to them? They did play the one video of the guy who was just standing there, and that cop beats him with his stick a couple of times, and he just turns around and walks away. I forget his name. It was a big deal there for like a day. You have 1 or 2 examples. I'm not going to say no cop has gone overboard. No cop has pushed the line. No cop has gotten frustrated and just started beating the fuck out of whichever protester was in front of him.
Yeah.
And I understand. I don't support it. They need to be reprimanded and probably kicked off the force if they can't take it. These guys take a shit ton of abuse.
Yeah.
And I that doesn't give them a right to do that, but I understand. Look, I've seen some of this shit. I would have punched a motherfucker in the face.
Right?
And I'm talking about women. A fucking bitchy, drunk-ass woman in my face yelling at me, telling me what a piece of shit I am.
Oh, like that stupid Karen that was like, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, God, that was so beautiful.
That was priceless. Well, you're going to jail now, bitch.
Women, men, they're both doing it, but women seem to be the worst about it.
Yeah.
Because they know that nobody's going to touch them. Like, hit her with a nightstick. Get her right one time.
Can I show you something I saw a little bit ago
at the
protest? Because this offended me more than anything. That is, am I on here?
Yep.
That is this guy over here. He has a puppet. And that's just creepy.
Why is he got a puppet? And why is it wearing a Russian hat?
No, that's its hair.
Oh, that's just hair.
Yeah. He's got a little protest sign. So there's this creepy Gallagher-looking dude with a puppet and a riot. And for some reason, to me, this is the scariest part of the protest.
That's creepy.
It's super creepy.
They're going to find body parts in his house.
Right? You went to a riot and took your creepy-ass wide-mouth puppet with you? No, dude. That's messed up.
Wow.
So I found that absolutely terrifying for some reason. If he had just been dressed like Pennywise and holding a puppet, then I probably would have just like wanted to check out and go home.
Bubba Hotep says, I think it's supposed to be Wheeler. Could be. These aren't fucking protests. And if you don't want to get gassed, here's a good idea. Don't hang around rioters.
Yeah. If you see people throwing shit and armed with shields and weapons, you're not at a protest. You're at a riot. Maybe it hasn't kicked off yet, but you're at a riot.
You know how many times I've been hit with pepper balls, pepper spray, CS gas, a nightstick since this all started?
None.
None. Not a fucking time. You know how many I would have been hit with if I was healthy? None. Because I wouldn't go to these fucking things.
No, you're accomplishing nothing at this.
They talk. Oh, good.
No, it's just if you have a protest or something, maybe you'll accomplish things. But they're just out at the same building every night for 2 months, throwing shit and trying to burn it down. What are you really trying to accomplish here?
And then they pull out the moms and put them in front, and then they got the dads, and then they pulled out the vets. Like, these lines have come out to help protect the protesters. Nobody's fucking with the protesters.
No, the protesters are starting shit and then getting sprayed.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the entire thing. It's summed up in one sentence. But putting those people out in front is exactly what Hezbollah does when they start sending rockets into Israel.
Yep.
They hang out at hospitals and schools, and then they're like, how can you shoot at children and sick people? You're monsters. It's the exact same tactic. Do you really want to start copying their behavior?
Real quick, over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Evolved Potato. If I remember correctly, that guy was trespassing and violently resisted arrest by throwing an officer to the ground before he was beaten. That somehow was removed from all the videos. Yeah, all I've ever seen is him getting beaten. Again, I'm not saying no cops have done anything bad. That was on my point with bringing that guy up. But the stuff we've seen in these protests, if you go back to before they put up the fence, the night before they put up the fence, that crowd is so thick, it is pushed all the way up to that building, and it is just a sea of people. And the people at the front of it are breaking the wooden facade they put up to keep these shitheads from getting in there again, where they've already set a fire before. Remember, they didn't board this whole building up and everything as tightly as it is until these assholes broke in and set fire to the fucking building. But here's the thing, and think about this. Their fight isn't with the feds. Their fight, supposedly, is with their PD, their local police department. That lady just yesterday, we need them to leave so we can go back to protesting and getting our changes here in the city. Go leave. Leave that fucking building alone.
Yeah.
All of your problems with the feds are solved just by doing that. But they won't do that. And then you got to ask yourself why. Did you hear in that thing? Why is Donald Trump, they said it several, why is he sending troops to Portland? There was a story we read last night on Lords of the Night. Like, why did Donald Trump choose Portland? And the gist of the story was that Donald Trump chose Portland to make his stand with federal agents.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happened. Donald Trump didn't choose it. The feds didn't choose it. The fucking rioters did. Ted Wheeler did. If Ted Wheeler had done his job and fucking snuffed out this riot early on, or every night just keep fucking doing what you were doing. Sorry, Teddy. They're assholes. They don't like you either. Why are you supporting them? If he had done his job, that building would have been fine, and there never would have had to have the feds brought in. Those feds are there protecting a federal fucking building. That is federal property. Why is it in the middle of Portland? Because that's where they built it, dumbass. They didn't go, 60 years from now or 80 years from now, whenever they built the fucking thing, there's probably going to be a protest here and we'll be able to shut down free speech. The building's been there for fucking ever. It is federal property. Leave it alone and the feds will leave you alone. That's what Barr was trying to get through to that fucking dumbass chin woman. Why weren't you in Michigan? Because it was Michigan that they could take care of themselves.
Yeah, that was a state issue, and nobody was trying to burn down a federal building.
Waiting to exhale. What's happening, monkey? Oh, that's just a joke about the I can't breathe bullshit. And look, George Floyd shouldn't have died the way he died, and I understand the I can't breathe thing, but it has nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. That's such bullshit. we're having a reckoning. We're having a long overdue reckoning in this country. Communism? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You dirty cunt?
That is what they're talking about because they hate the system and they're a bunch of commies.
Yep, and it's disgusting. That's what she's up there talking about. If this is systemic changes that we need. There was another part in this, Jack, where Barr was accused of systemic racism because he hasn't hired black people to work on his staff. On your senior staff, there's no black people, and that, sir, is systemic racism. Like,
how would you like to be the guy hired just because he's black?
Right?
Like, we got a quota to fill. You're here. Like, no, I want to be there because I earned the job.
Find me one of them dark ones. I don't want to be in the news. That wouldn't even be systemic racism if they did avoid hiring a black person.
Right?
It is not a built-in system in the government, you dumb motherfucker. Because Barr talked about that. He's like, look, our country has a history. Of course it does. But it's not like that anymore. Now, how can you say that? Like, because I pay attention. We got rid of all those laws, the ones that you guys still, Jim Crow laws, haven't been a thing for fucking ever, douche nut. Fucking hate these.
Did you see the video of the guy throwing the explosive?
I saw one. I don't know which one we're talking about though.
There was one thrown the other night. When was it? Yesterday?
The one at the door?
Yeah. The big explosion. There's a video surfaced of the guy actually throwing the explosive.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the last link in the side chat if you want to watch it.
Yeah, let's check that out. Did you see that they arrested a guy for the fire at the federal building?
No.
Yeah.
I saw they caught those two chicks that beat up the state senator or whatever.
I didn't see that, but he's the one that came up during the hearing that I told you about, that Barr's like, I don't know why you guys are supporting these. They turn on you guys.
Right.
I think it was Barr. It might have been one of the other congressmen. No, it was one of the congressmen talking to Barr who said that. Like, they turn on you guys. What the fuck are you doing?
You cannot tame a wild animal. That's like saying I have a pet grizzly bear that I found yesterday. No, you don't. You have a bear that didn't eat you yet.
Well, the problem is they think that these people are on their side. And you call them a wild animal. They're a little bit more, a little smarter than that, Jack.
Yeah,
they have an agenda.
Oh, they absolutely do. But I mean, wolves hunt in packs.
Sure,
but they're still feral.
Yeah, this is not something. They have their own direction. You're trying to pin yourself to it and hope it pulls you along. They're going to eat you. They're going to come to your house. They've done it. Mayor Jenny, they've gone to Wheeler's house. They beat up this senator. What the fuck? How about this? Come over to America's side, Democrats. Come over with us.
Oh, no, they don't like America.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, systemic racism, monkey.
Yeah. That's systemic sexism, too. All right. Here we go. Except for David Dorn.
Yeah.
Oh. It's this guy.
The little weenie in the vest.
Oh, there he is.
That was not a firecracker.
Nope. He better be careful. That his outfit is very identifying.
Yeah. And ironically, he did get identified because of that. Check the Twitter link right above that one that you just looked at, the Villain Phoenix one.
Okay.
And look at the picture there.
What a fucking dumbass.
Oh, it gets even better. It gets even better. If you could show this to the
bringing
audience.
it up. All right.
Because that is a product review by his grandma who bought him the vest.
Oh my God.
I know. I laughed for way longer than I should have at that one. As soon as I saw that, I was like, are you kidding me? That dude just effectively tossed an IED at the building. And his grandma wrote a product review for the vest and took a picture of him wearing it before he went to the protest.
That motherfucker's going to prison.
That dude's going to prison for a long fucking time.
He's going to real prison. He's going to need a vest for his asshole.
Yeah, that's what they call an Office Space federal pound me in the ass prison.
Right.
Like he's going in there with like serial killers and shit like that because they're gonna find him. They know where he bought the vest from. The product review is going to come back to an IP address, and they're going to have only so many sales going to that general area because his grandma doesn't have a VPN.
Now, here's another. This one. Now, I haven't been able to back this up anywhere else. It comes from Breaking 911 on Twitter, which I've had mixed success with them being accurate.
Yeah.
But this is the guy supposedly who started the fire. You can see him right here without his shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
Here he is actually starting the fucking fire. And there's another picture of him with the fire. And here he is outside. He has his name tattooed across his back.
Like you do. Froston's right. Grandma, you narc.
Right? Grandma gonna get her ass kicked. You think he's gonna write his own review and be like, this vest is shit, it got me busted.
He can't get too mad at Grandma because she's got to pay his bail.
Yeah. Good job, Grandma.
Well, she was just doing the right thing. Like, oh, well, he really likes it. I'll write a review. She didn't think he was going to go out and blow shit up, I'm sure.
Well, he probably told her, Grandma, it's peaceful.
Yeah, it's totes peaceful. It's just the cops rioting.
Yeah, she believes what she sees on the news and what people were saying in this hearing and all that other nonsense.
I just hope that if God forbid he is getting mounted by Bubba, then Bubba has the wherewithal to say his name during.
Right? Have him chanting, I can't breathe while he's got his dick in his mouth.
Right.
Did you see the grandma's username?
No.
It's Grandma. G-R-A-M or G-R-A-M-M-A, so grandma, and then an F, so it comes up Grandma Tarkin. Right? What a fucking moron. Even if his grandma didn't narc him out there, he'd have got caught from that.
Oh, yeah. That's a very distinctive vest. And I'm sure he knows people there, too, so...
Yeah,
I'm sure there's better footage of him floating around because he's the only one wearing that kind of vest.
And there's this is why I told you guys with excuse me, I'm so sorry. With the pickup on the corner there with the cops, like you'll notice most of the people who do this shit, the smart ones, the organized ones, they wear all black, nothing identifiable.
Yep.
Because when you wear something identifiable, they identify you, dumb fuck.
Yeah, you go gray man and blend in with the crowd. You don't wear something that's gonna stick out like, I don't know, a puppet or a distinctive looking jacket or something like that.
Well, I hope he enjoys the pussy because he probably got laid for that.
Probably, but it would be some hairy chick that might as well have been a dude.
Look, that's a Chad in their world.
Yeah.
So he probably got some pussy. I hope he enjoys it. whether it's, whether he's gay or not, I don't know. So I hope you enjoy that, because here soon, the only sex you're going to be getting is going to be non-consensual. And I'm okay with that. You threw a fucking bomb at a building, you dick nut.
Right? We're not dealing with rocket science here. You want to lighten the mood a little?
Yeah, let's lighten it up before we wrap this one up.
The Chaz video of what it looks like in there is the first link of the riot ribs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That the flavor sensation.
Wait, is this from last night? Oh no. Okay.
No, it's a little older.
Pull it up on the screen. All right, guys, this is the food they've been eating. Which, remember, they raised $300,000 for this food project.
Yeah.
And then they just disappeared into the night. Unless you are a registered, 503c or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Bitch, you got to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like cheap either.
No, you're going to give up about a quarter of that, at least. You're just collecting donations. Otherwise, you have to say you're selling it, and then you have to pay sales tax as well as other taxes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fucking money laundering scheme.
Oh, it absolutely is. That money's all gone.
All right. Wait, is that milk? Just
Yep.
wait. Whoa.
Yep. Oh, wait. Well, it'll come back. He's going around.
Okay, it's milk sitting out. That's not even an ice. Wow.
Just stacks of random stuff. Like I can hear like a health inspector weeping. They all cry out at once, weeping.
Wow.
Look how disgusting this place is.
I said this to Jack last night, or maybe it was the night before. This looks like when they, on the show Hoarders, when they pull all of the shit out of the house and they get to pick a couple of things to take back with them. And they have to throw all the rest away. This looks like all the shit you're supposed to be throwing away.
Yeah. Now, what you do see is off to the left there a second ago was lots of bottles of water that are neatly stacked up. Those were delivered. The rest of the stuff is just chaos.
Uh-huh. What the fuck brings milk to a protest?
It's probably to like wash off some of the capsaicin. It's the only thing I can think of.
I forgot about that.
But that's the only thing. You don't want to put that shit directly in your eyes, but get it off your skin.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can think of. Or they're cooking something that's got milk in it, but that cannot be sanitary.
Nope. Look at that, just trash.
Yeah, I mean, there's literal trash mixed in with like, look, there's a beer can right next to that sign, a Pabst Blue Ribbon can. There's like empty containers.
Of course.
And this is a place where they're cooking food.
Yeah, you got a couple of things lined up here. This is delivery.
Yeah.
This here. There's
a big dude trash back there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude back there just hanging out. But remember, guys, because somebody else, this is their story, somebody else was posing as them and getting money, so they had to just shut down. After they made $300,000 off of, let me say it again, free food. Anyway, fuck these guys. I hope they all got the liquid shits from it. How great would that be, Jack? Just one night of no protesting because they all got dysentery.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me too much.
Actually, I kind of wish that it would kick in during the protest.
Or just poop everywhere. No, because then they just fill their hands and throw it at the cops.
Suddenly, it comes with some pain too, so I don't know if they could do that. It would just double over and shit all over themselves. I would laugh.
I'd laugh too. I'd feel kind of bad for him because I'm laughing at it, but I won't feel that bad.
Yeah, those. I want to. I should find that tweet and from that place that was getting donations and tweet the IRS at them.
Right.
Dangerous Spaces, thank you so much. They have bad hygiene standards. I'm shocked. I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking disgusting little commie hippies. They're violent little fuckers.
Yeah.
Be careful. They bite.
Yeah,
but they scare easy.
Yeah, they're sort of skittish rabbit animals. Oh,
They really are.
I've been watching the protest kind of off and on.
Yeah.
Since we've been talking, and they got a fire going, but the feds haven't come out. I don't think I've seen them all night come out, but it's kind of surprising.
Lady Anya asks, anyone know about that huge structure fire in LA? No, I haven't. I haven't looked at any of the news today. I've been, I kind of I'm not watching the news today because I watched 4.5 hours, almost 5 hours of congressional hearings.
Yeah.
That's enough for anybody.
Yeah, and how bad they were at like dodging the reality of the situation with these fucking rioters.
It was like watching CNN in a writers' meeting. Okay, we got to do everything we can not to talk about how horrible these fucking people are. I love that they started that video, the one Jim Jordan showed with the MSNBC news reporter standing in front of the fire. It's pretty much nice down here. Everybody's peaceful with a raging fucking arson fire behind him.
Yeah, it's mostly peaceful. Well, that means it's violent. If it's mostly peaceful, there's still violence.
Yep. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video there. It's not as much fun as some of the other ones we've done, but it's important. It's important that you guys actually pay attention to what your Congress is doing. And pay attention to how they mirror everything your press says. And ask yourself why. And I know you guys are smart. You know why. Or at least you've heard me tell you what I think. It's disgusting. And this is why we're in the state we're in. Because you do have a press that is entirely loyal to one side. Thank you for the donations. You guys are amazing. And I'm close to what I think a chin implant might cost. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Jack, anything you'd like to show?
I'll drop some links in the chat, but thank you for the donations. You guys are amazing.
Tonight we're on my channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Lords of the Night. Gaming probably after Lords of the Night, not until then. So actually, I don't know. You have a show tonight, don't you?
Yes, I'll be on Polydub's channel for comic book curation between 10 and 11.
Yeah, so I'll probably do a game stream during that, and then Monkey in the Morning. You don't have to come, but that way, if you do want to come, you can get some time in. But I usually do a game for about 2 hours, and then probably this at its normal time. So hopefully, I'm hoping like fuck I get some sleep because I only slept for like 3.5 hours last night. I've been up since 11:30. I'm not happy about it.
No, you should get some of that sleep stuff.
Before we go, I do want to address one thing. I was asked on Lords of the Night last night why I don't have guests on anymore. And I'm not opposed to guests, and there's some guests that I would still have on. I really like the dynamic I have with Jack. I think we play very well off of each other. And that's not to say other people don't fit or anything like that. I really like the dynamic I have with Jack. And I might have guests on again. I do enjoy having other people on to talk to from time to time, but it's not the direction I want to take it in right now. That's the simple answer to it, and it's nothing more than that. It's what I'm comfortable with on the show right now. So, yes, it's a bromance. It's just like me and Satsu. I mean, I got some my bro hoes running around. My bro hoes. But no, You need a fixed show with Jack. I know. I wish I could. Keeping a time frame is not easy for me. It's really, really not. And I do the best I can with it, guys. But yeah, that's why we're all over the place. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Oh, it was a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
That